Hello, Audioholics. This is Logan, and welcome back to Audioholics Anonymous. Today, we are going to be doing the new Gojira album, Fortitude. And here to help me is Go Tyler.
Wales!
Yes.
Yeah, so originally I was just going to do the chant, but Wales!
Flying whales.
All right, so that's all we have it's all we have for you today. So
Yeah, there you go. In conclusion, the band is French. Don't listen to their shit.
All right, so Fortitude by Gojira. Yeah, this was an excited that's not the way to say that. I was very excited for this album. I am a big Gojira fan. I have been for a while. You can pretty much thank them for getting me into all forms of extreme music. Their first two albums are tech death masterpieces, and everything after that is just next level, except Magma. We don't talk about Magma here. No, it wasn't that bad. No, Magma was an all right album, but it was mainstream sounding compared to what they're known for, and it rubbed some people the wrong way. And if you're one of those people, you're not going to like Fortitude, because Fortitude is Magma 2.0, except just like better in every way, like Terminator 2 or something. The sequel isn't often better, but it is in this case, is my point. Like the classic death metal albums, Way of All Flesh, From Mars to Sirius, Les Fonds Sauvages, they're still there. They're not going anywhere. You can go back and you can bang your head on tables to these fucking songs all you want. But Gojira clearly want to go in a more, prog, mainstream sounding, direction. And I don't see a problem with that. I would prefer that to them continuing to release albums that sound like the three I mentioned. And the reason for that is, let's face it, they're never going to fucking top those albums.
Yeah.
They release another one like Les Fonds Sauvages and everyone's going to go, well, the other one was better. So instead, they decided to evolve their sound, and what came out was Magma. And Magma wasn't amazing, but now they refined that sound, and they made it better in every way. You could say that they fortified the sound. Yeah, so let's talk about the actual songs now. They're amazing. So obviously, Born for One Thing was the first single, and it blew everyone away, and it's like, yeah, it's Gojira. It sounds amazing. Amazonia, though. Holy fucking shit, the Sepultura influence on that song. It sounds exotic as hell. Another World was the first single, not Born for One Thing. Born for One Thing was the first single from the album, but Another World is the one they put out before. That's what I meant when I was talking. Anyway, Another World's great. Hold On is my favorite song on the album, hands down. The opening is so atmospheric and emotional. Amazing. Newfound title track going into the chant is probably the most controversial aspect of this album. You have the chant, the thing that goes on throughout the whole song, and people found it kind of repetitive. Personally, it's definitely the weakest song on the album, but it works for me. And don't act like there wasn't any bad songs on those other albums, like Les Fonds Sauvages. Okay, that one's perfect. But From Mars to Sirius had Backbone, which in my opinion isn't that great of a song, and also Global Warming. I mean, it's a okay song. It's not bad, but again, it's not up to the standards of the rest of the album. Way of All Flesh had Yama's Messengers and Esoteric Surgery and whatever the fuck Wolf Down the Earth was. So don't act like these albums were perfect, except for Les Fonds Sauvages. But nonetheless, it works for me and I enjoy it. Plus, the message behind the chant and Fortitude being like talking about the Tibetan massacre from China, that's a big thing. Sphinx is more classic Gojira. If you're missing that edge, it's here in Sphinx and also the last song, Grind. But you've also got a super melodic edge to a song like The Trails and an almost arena rock sound coming from Into the Storm. This album is Gojira's most experimental. It's their proggiest. It's their most melodically interesting. And it's a contender for my new favorite Gojira album, honestly. I love Les Fonds Sauvages, but I gotta admit, there's really not anything in that album that makes me want to sing Gojira songs, but there's plenty of that in Fortitude. So, you know, I loved it. It's great.
I think that it is a very solid album. Again, it has a new sound that might turn some fans off, but you know what? They're just purists who just want to listen to Way of All Flesh again. And like you said, that album's still there. You can just listen to it on Spotify right now. If you love that album so much, go back and listen to it. It's
Yeah, exactly.
still there, and it's still probably just as good as you remember it. Listen to Way of All Flesh. Listen to From Mars to Sirius. Listen to something else. I don't care. But this album, I would not say is as good as those albums, but it does still stand on its own as a good Gojira album. I think if I had to say anything, I would say that sometimes it does kind of overstay musical ideas a little bit. You know, like obviously the chants are the most infamous example, but there are elements of that in a lot of the songs on the album. Overall, though, it's recommended. If you like, I say that Gojira is the perfect gateway drug into more extreme metal. And there is not a better gateway drug than this fucking album. It is perfect. If you like Metallica or Megadeth or Anthrax or Slayer or something, but you want something heavier, but also more atmospheric and with more sense of musical experimentation, give this album a shot. It is highly recommended.
And speaking of, I have it on vinyl. I wish I took it out.
Yeah, I took out the Danny Elfman album when we did that one. Fucking plebe.
Yeah, so what did you guys think of the new Gojira record? Do you agree with me that it's clearly one of their best albums, or are you one of the haters who just you really fucking don't like it when bands experiment and you're a fucking poser and fuck you fucking piece of shit? All right, without further ado, we bid you
Audio
do. Bye bye.
Au revoir.